I just saw the new film starring Billy Zane as Marlon Brando entitled Waltzing with Brando. It's very interesting. First of all, out of the gate, Billy Zane stunningly conveys Brando. There are times where you almost wonder, did they just use clips of Brando? He is beyond spot on with Brando in this film. This story, it's an odd duck. It's based on a true story about an architect portrayed by John Heder, who is hired by someone to go to Tahiti to try to create a hotel there. Winds up meeting Brando, winds up being hired by Brando to build a place to live for him and his family on not uncharted, but on a private island in Tahiti. So it's these two guys getting to know each other. It's John Hader's character getting to know Brando as the person and not as the movie star. A lot of Tahiti. Some people in smaller roles you might know. Rob Corddry is in this. Richard Dreyfuss is in this. A couple of Tia Carrera is in this. But mostly this is really about the relationship between the two men and the camaraderie that grows out of living in Tahiti. This is also basically a nice infomercial for Tahiti and not so subtle push toward the foundation that Brando set up to create sustainable living and protection of Tahiti, a place that he went to at some point in his life and never left, just always that became his home and the place that he really found most peace in. So the film is an odd duck. I did not know. I went into this presuming it was a drama. It's a comedy drama. There's a lot of fourth wall breaking. It's narrated by Heder looking into the camera a lot. There's some really odd, goofy things that they do occasionally in the film. There is flat out comedy in the film, but there also is drama and humanity and Brando the person as opposed to Brando the movie star. It doesn't totally work in full. Zane is very good. And the makeup, the very subtle makeup that's used to turn Zane into Brando is excellent. And you do see some sequences where they show him on the set of The Godfather and recreation of some of his more famous later in life film scenes. And they do some nice technical wizardry to put Billy Zane as Brando into old clips of the Dick Cavett Show or an old clip of the Tonight Show and things like that. It really shows Brando, the humanitarian, Brando, the person who cared about the environment and civil rights and, other people. Crazy idea as that may be. And it's very successful on that level. The comedy comes and goes. Sometimes it is amusing. Sometimes it kind of feels out of place. Sometimes it just lands kind of flat. I don't know how perfectly cast Heder is in this role, because if you only know him from Napoleon Dynamite or other similar roles, it's hard to take him seriously in this, but he does give it his all. The people who play his family are very good. So for the most part, performances are good. It's an odd tone throughout. It kind of works really well in some spots, and it kind of doesn't work as well in some spots. I was able to see this in a theater. I think this is an extremely limited release, so like any and everything, it's going to live its life out on streaming. It's not a bad film, just not a great film. It reminded me with that film about the young writer in England who befriends Marilyn Monroe for a period of time. It's one of those things where through the eyes of a normal person, you get to sort of meet and understand an icon. Certainly, Billy Zane needs to have the major tip of the hat on this film. He was one of the producers on the film, watching the end credits just mere moments ago. And there is something to watch that's entertaining right until the very last moment of the credits. Several of his family members or kids are in the film. And it's an interesting portrait of a man that nobody ever really got to know very well, who wasn't in his inner circle, and an aspect of his life that was never really publicly documented. So it's, especially if you're a Brando fan, I think Brando has sort of fallen off the popular consciousness map for as far as the general public goes over the last decade or two, unfortunately. But if you're a film fan, you'll probably get a lot more out of this than the average casual moviegoer. Waltzing with Brando.